Okay, so now I want to talk to you about using silhouettes for poses. One of the things I like to do is actually start with a brush that's got a bit of a flat edge. So if I go down with the brush, it's wider. If I go over, it's thinner. Just a preference. It really doesn't matter. You can use any brush. If you are using a software like this, I'll make sure you got access to a brush like this. But again, use whatever you got, markers, pencils, it doesn't matter. But the concept is that the reason why I like to even turn the opacity down is that I can overlap and get a certain darkness. Sometimes I'll do it all the way set to black as well. So just kind of play around with this. But the main thing is that you start with just kind of sketching and getting an idea going. So let me start with a line right down the middle. So this would be basically, maybe the height of the character or whatever. Again, this is just something I like to do. I don't know if it's the way a lot of people might do it, but what I want to do is first go into it thinking of a concept. Or you might even just practice it first, just any concept. Let's just do that. Let's warm up. I'm just going to do a character kind of standing there. So I'm going to get on a neck, upper torso. I'll just do a straight on shot at first. And the reason being is I do think it's important to just kind of warm up to anything you're doing. So this will be our little warm up. So there's the waist, here's a pelvis, sorry, I always say pelvic. Pelvic bone, pelvis is what I'm talking about there. And, you might look at this and go, well, I don't see the shapes good enough to do this yet. And that's okay. We all kind of start somewhere and then we get better and we elaborate and things like that. The main thing is that you don't think about this being so refined and perfect. Okay, so get perfection right out of your mind. Just get the ball rolling and go with whatever you're good, wherever you're at, good at or otherwise. Just do wherever you're at and, complete some poses. So that's the main thing. Now, I'll be giving you tips along the way, obviously, on how to do this a little bit better. You probably notice that I'm doing like more of a back bend and then an outward curve. So that's kind of like the lightning bolt thing that you see for figure drawing. And so there's just a character standing there just like that. Not refined, not too overly clean, definitely not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but there's our warm-up pose. So why is this important? Why even bother drawing silhouettes? Why not just draw a character? You probably think, well, I can draw pretty good. I don't need to do that. Well, I think I can draw pretty good too, but it's not really the reasoning. It actually helps spark your imagination. I don't know why. I couldn't really give you an answer to that, but I do know that it works because whenever I feel like my drawings are just coming out a bit too repetitive, a bit too flat, I can try something like this. Now, here's our basic starting point, right? We get rid of our line here. And so what can we do to make this look like anything? It just doesn't look like much of anything. Now, the fun in this is getting very imaginative with the silhouette. A definable silhouette will give you a better character design. That's why it's so important. That's why you see a lot of character designers do this. For instance, if I add certain attributes to this character, if I go like this, you might recognize the character. Maybe, maybe not. So what happens is a very definable silhouette helps you to relate the character. We're actually very good at pinpointing the look of something by the silhouette. We can actually spot flaws. So you can do little details like pouches on the side of the hips there, kind of gauntlet armor pieces. Obviously the character holding something, you go like this and all of a sudden they're holding a spear or something like that. There's a lot you can convey with that silhouette. So it really starts to speed up your process and allow you to express a lot of ideas on the page rather quickly. And then it becomes very fun to add to that and, develop something else. So we can, if we give them pointed ears, maybe they're an elf type warrior or something. We could have a spike coming off the top, or maybe, some hair in a kind of ponytail fashion flowing off to the side, whatever you can imagine. But you can see it's really quick to do that. So there's our little warm-up pose. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way or off to the side. And that's just our kind of starting point. So let's go ahead and keep trying to develop some ideas.